So I'm just here having my coffee, about to start the day. My client Greg from County Clare is about to meet me here at Sese General Store. Greg has been a client of ours for 2 years, roughly. I'll get the exact dates from him in a second. He's seen so much personal growth, so much business growth, so much professional growth. It's been an insane journey for him inside of our world. And I'll get him to tell you a little bit about it in this video. But the coolest part about working with Greg has been to see how our system continues to work for people over time. It's not just like a one and done thing. He's raised his prices 2, if not 3 times. I need to actually get the exact figure on that because he just put his prices up again before Christmas. So he's seen, 40% growth in the first year, 30% again on top of that in the second year. So, you're looking at 70% growth over a 2-year period. Pretty insane. So I'm going to ask him a few questions, get a bit of an insight into his business, his experience with us and what he's learned so that you can learn from it as well. So yeah, enjoy. Here's Greg. So the reason that Greg is here is because we just ran the Mastermind for our clients here in Bali. So every year we run 3 events. We're going to be running 3 events this year, 3 times 3 days, where we have people really unpack the things that are holding them back in their life and in their business. And that's why Greg's still here. He's extended the holiday. Might go for a little walk down by the beach and have a little chat about his journey so far.
You good? Yeah, all good. All good yourself?
Very good.
Yeah, of course.
Greg and I'm going to show Greg one of my favourite spots.
Let's do it.
It was a brainwave. I didn't actually plan this. I just thought, you know what? Where could we have a chat? And this is the perfect place. It's insane. So it's a bit of a hidden gem as well. I don't know if many people know about it. We're on the way to the hidden gem. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
I've seen that before, yeah.
The camera doesn't do it justice at all. I'm trying to capture it, but it's just not doing it justice. The detail. Cheers, Greg. We're catching up a year later. This time last year we had a chat on a rooftop, remember?
Yeah.
And we're just after finishing the Mastermind. We're sitting in this amazing place right now, like with almost surreal backdrop, to be honest. A long way from the Irish Barber Expo where we first met.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to have a little chat with you, touch base on like where you were this time last year, where you are now, how you're feeling, how business is, how life is. And a good question to kind of start the conversation with is like, from that day when we met, knowing what you knew about us, knowing what you knew about us and what you thought UBM and coaching and stuff was going to be to now, how much different was it than you thought? Like, what did you get out of it that you were surprised by, or what you thought was different?
I suppose, like yeah, I can hold it, yeah.
We'll pass it.
I suppose from like other coaching stuff that maybe I would have done in the past, this one has certainly nearly become more like a family. I think there's just too much personal touches to people because of your ICP and the type of clients that you kind of take on. I think that it's impossible nearly for a bad person to kind of walk into the world. It makes things a bit more family like, and everybody's working together, everybody's doing wants better for their life. I think that was the biggest thing for me. The community is just phenomenal, that you guys have created. I love it. I love being part of it. I can't see myself not being part of it at the moment,
Yeah.
We've done some amazing things together over the last couple of years. Bali at the end of every season has kind of been a nice personal touch for everybody. It's great. I love it.
Cool. So, a bit of context. You have a barbershop in Killaloe, County Clare. When we met, from a technical standpoint, correct me if I'm wrong, but off the top of my head, first year that we were working together, the business grew by about 40%.
Yeah, that'll be right.
And then second year, so we're 2 years in now, or probably a bit more, you reckon? 2-ish years?
About 2 years, yeah, about
Yeah.
2 years.
Second year, you grew by 30% on the previous year. So
Yeah.
if you look at it like that, it's kind of like almost like 70% growth over 2 years.
Yeah.
How has that been? How has that felt, like, to grow the business like that?
It feels, it's mad because I have to kind of think back on it from where it was to where we've come to. Obviously, I always have this kind of mindset where I'm trying to move forward or look for the next thing, but it's only when you put it to me like that, I actually have to think of how far I've come as well. Probably not the best person at recognizing how far I come because I'm kind of looking at the next thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. Like, and having more time back was huge. Like, to drop to 4 days a week, to be able to work a little bit less as well, and make more money year on year so far is great. It's great. Like, it's very hard to describe. The only way I could try and describe it was how hard I was finding things before I joined, and was it even going to be worth it in the long run if I didn't make the changes I needed to make. But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what changes needed to be made or how to do it. I had a lot of limiting beliefs, I think, for a lot of people around raising their prices and why they can or they can't do it. But yeah, like, we look with you guys there to support us. I mean, we get to the bottom of these things and we press on, and the results seem to come, you know?
Yeah, 100%. No, it's awesome. So good. I was just thinking about it earlier. What we have even learned about our own system that we use to help you guys get those results. The coolest part is seeing it play out for somebody like you, somebody like Pat as well, for example. You know, it's not just like this happened for one person and it hasn't happened for anyone else. Like, the system that we use and the way that we mentor you guys and coach you guys and space like that it's created, it's not like a one and done. Like, you don't just get one result and that's all we can kind of do. Like, no. There's continuous growth, right? Like, you've probably seen it even in these events. We're always growing with our coaches. So when we do that, we pass it to you guys, and our program keeps getting better. The way we deliver keeps getting better. How we learn keeps improving. But, like, the coolest part is that, like, you know, being from a small town in Ireland, because relatively speaking, Killaloe is pretty small, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you can keep growing your business by that much in a small town is, like, insane. Instagram can be very deceiving in terms of, like, what you see online, and you know, there's a lot of advice given out there by all sorts of people about pricing. But a lot of it is with the context of getting new clients all the time, not growing with the clients that you have. And, you know, I wouldn't imagine that in those 2 years, you know, the things that you did in your business in order for it to grow, you know, price point is one of the things that you had to communicate well with your clients. It's not like you have a whole new clientele.
No.
You have the same clients that you had before.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. You know, like, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks. The coolest part of our system is that it's built on trust between you and your clients. It's not like I'm just going to get really good at marketing and then get new clients and fuck the clients that I have. Like, it's not like that at all. So yeah, man, it's been really cool to watch and experience, and even just from a personal level, right? Like, the reason I brought in the results and the tangible stuff is because it's very hard to measure the personal growth.
Yeah.
But if you were to tie the business and the personal growth together, I would even say, like, you personally, to me, it's like you've grown like 70%. Like, you're like a 70%, if not 170% different person or better person than you were when we first met. So with that in mind, like, if you didn't do it for whatever reason, if you didn't, like, 2 years ago, say, you know what, like, I've had enough. Like, I've had enough of life being this way. I want it to be this way. If you didn't do that, where do you think life would be now?
I don't think I'd be in a very a very good place if I didn't step on board at the moment. I was definitely at a real like point of pain before I kind of like entered the program with everything, just the way that life was, the stuff I was getting up to in my personal life.
So we were in the middle of recording that answer. I'm going to come back to that one.
Yeah.
But the DJI overheated. It's not even like, look at it. It's in trouble. So I'm going to ask them to put it in the fridge. See if that works. Alright guys, is it okay if I put this in the freezer for a minute? Because it was too hot. It's okay? Alright.
Few moments later.
You can check it. See if it works. Is the file there? Yeah. So we got cancelled by the sun and we're back. So I was just asking Greg, based on the growth that you've had, based on your experience in the program, if we met back at the Irish Barber Expo many years ago and you decided for whatever reason not to do the mentorship, where do you think your life would be now? Where do you think your business would be now if you didn't make that commitment for yourself?
Yeah, like definitely not further along down the line than I am now. And not all the wins were money wins for me, or kind of like businessy wins, if people want to tie it to that. I think there's been so much personal wins in there as well, which are very, as you said, are very hard to measure. But my relationship with my family, my relationship with my now partner, my relationships just in general are better, like, you know. Yeah, it's hard to put into words, I think. And I don't reflect upon it often enough, I think, to remind myself either, you know. But yeah, it's been super enjoyable being a part of this group, and I don't see myself leaving anytime soon, you know. There's more work to be done, which is good as well. This time round, I feel like it maybe highlighted some stuff in it that I still needed to work on, you know. So there's levels to growth as well, and I can look forward to that now, you know. I'm not seeing it as a negative either, you know. I'm looking forward to going home and cracking on again, you know.
Was it you at the Mastermind that said, I think it was at the end when we were doing the shares, you were saying it's nice to be part of the group to see how every time we deliver something it kind of like gets better and better.
Yeah.
And like it changes and it's different. It's not like the same thing on repeat. Was it you that said that?
Yeah, I said something like that. Yeah, I think how like that change, it's going to land different with maybe like different people. Like I felt like the whole idea and the concept landed a bit more with me even this time. Now, I suppose I could argue, right, I've been around for a while and I've heard it a few times before, but this time it was just delivered really, really well. And simpler was better for somebody like me, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think simple is good for everybody, you know. Simple is great, and like that was kind of the idea this time with the Mastermind, is like just keep it as concise as possible. And there's something to be said for, like, I feel anyway, there's something to be said for long-term coaching relationships. Like you get a lot out of it by being around for a long time. Almost like what I'm starting to see now is the people who are around the longest are getting the best results, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're actually becoming the people they need to become, and they're not, you know, running away maybe when it gets a bit hard. So it's awesome. If you were to look at...
No, and it's not a sprint, right? Like I think life is going to be a marathon and I wasn't jumping in expecting overnight success, even though there was some really quick wins from the beginning, you know, but the more personal stuff takes a bit of time, I think, as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the in-person events, I think, is what really brings that out. You know, like I think that's why that's such an important part of what we do. If somebody was like in your position 2 years ago now, where they might, I won't put words in your mouth, but maybe overworked, not like not seeing a way past where they are, not fully fulfilled, don't feel like they're earning the money that they deserve to be earning, and just can't see a way out. Like, what advice would you give to that person now, knowing what you know?
Jeez, like you'd have to say go look for the help and go and speak to you guys or speak to a coach of some sort. Like, it's very hard to come up with this stuff on your own if you haven't done the work or haven't gone somewhere to see it. And most people who are at home just cutting hair and working at burnout, like, they haven't done the work. They need help. They need guidance in the right direction, and you can't cut your way out of this. Like, you can't cut more haircut. You can't do more haircuts to make you happy. It's not going to work, and unfortunately, and I thought like that for a long time. I even thought, I'll do more hair education courses. My hair cutting skills are fine to a degree where they are. Yeah, I upskill every year, and yeah, I do a little bit more. But those skills weren't taking me on to the next level in business, or the next business in my personal life. You could do as many hair cutting courses as you want, and it's not going to fix that problem. And that's the biggest needle mover for somebody in my position who was in business and had done all the haircuts and done all the hair courses, and nothing was changing. I was coming back after a hair course to the shop, and I was just still the same person. And I think barbers can kind of get caught up in that a little bit too much as well. I'll do another hair course, and then it doesn't work out.
And after it, you're like isolated, right? Like, that's one big part of it as well. Why we created what we created is because we used to deliver the hair courses, but then what happened after them is like people just left and went back to their shops, and it's like we don't know if they're implementing it, we don't know if they're actually using it to grow their business, and they're just in isolation. They don't have anyone around that they can even ask questions, and they think they have to figure it all out by themselves. Do you feel like you were in that position before, where you had to like figure it all out by yourself? And
yeah, maybe I was kind of coming back like 10% better at cutting hair, but a lot of the courses I did weren't really giving me an idea or an example of how to like move forward in business. They were just kind of hair cutting courses, which is fine for the person who I guess needs that at that time. But I was doing something that literally wasn't helping me or solving the problem that I had. Because I thought if I went and I hung around with these people for long enough or went to the courses, I'd pick up snippets of information that were going to get me forward. But you get there then and it's all about hair, and it wasn't doing the wrong thing, trying to solve a different problem,
It's like it's looking for the right things in the wrong places, right?
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, cool, man. So cool. So yeah, why, like, I'll ask you this last question, but why did you choose to do R1 then? What was it about R1 that made you choose to join our mentorship?
It didn't take me very long, really, to be honest, to kind of make a decision. I'd been following your content, I'd say, for less than a month. I hadn't actually ever heard of you before, or heard of Lee, because I wasn't in Australia, right? And
what do you mean?
Yeah, I know. It seems a bit funny now, like, but I actually hadn't heard of you or Lee, and you'd been in the Australia scene for so long, and everything I was doing was kind of Irish or UK based, So, but then as soon as it like came on my radar, and obviously it was through the barbering industry as well, I was listening, I suppose, quietly for maybe a month or so, and liking your stuff, and I liked how you spoke. I liked the things that you and Lee stood for, the things that you said, and it just looked different to what everybody else was doing, and there was an honesty to it that I could resonate with and relate to, and you weren't afraid to ask for the things that I was looking for out of life as well, so I could resonate with all that stuff. That'd be probably the biggest thing. So then I think it just took one meeting, really. I came up to the Dublin Barber Expo, was it? Yeah. And I met you at that. I think it was only like a 5-minute conversation, if even.
Yeah. You just said hello, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was part of the reason why I went. I knew you guys were going to be attending it, right? So I just came up to make that connection.
I remember it on the dance floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We met on the dance
At,
floor of a nightclub.
Yeah, a couple of whiskeys and ginger ales in my hand back then, all right, which I really kind of regretted approaching you with that.
I know.
But Clare were playing Waterford that day in the hurling, so it was kind of
Yeah.
it was needed. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. No, super cool. So yeah, I think we've pretty much captures most of it. But yeah, any last words? Anything you want to say yourself? Anything you want to, maybe if there's someone on the other side thinking about like where this video is going to kind of live, is in a testimonial style place. So somebody might be watching it thinking, will I, won't I? What will I do next? Is it legit? Are they real? Is it going to be a scam? Like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Any last words that you might say for that, or just any last words at all? Just
Yeah. I think that a major holding back factor for a lot of people might be the price of entry, but I think you're losing money by not being a part of this as well, and don't let that be the deciding factor whether you join or not. It's done more for me than I ever could have imagined, really, to be honest. It's just all so worth it, like, and I look forward to it now, and I have a new community of people, I've new friends made. It's different. It's different than anything I've ever done. Yeah, and I can honestly say that to anybody, that don't let that be your deciding factor just to join. Yeah.
So I'll see you in UBM. I'll see you in Bali. You can come here. We can have that chat. We're going to Greece soon as well. Greg and I were just looking at some of the places to go in Greece, and that's awesome. Man, it's been a pleasure watching your like transformation, your journey, where you're going next. Even like the stuff that you've kind of uncovered this weekend, like right from the start, right? That night one up until like the email you sent yesterday. It's like
Night one blew me away. I think night one wasn't even part of the sessions, right? But it was just the conversations that were had. I went home kind of nearly quite emotional that night, because I felt like I'd realised something just by talking to you and Tor and T-Mac on the roof.
yeah.
And I nearly led myself into that situation, you know.
Oh man, yeah. Well, it came from like your line of questioning, right? And then I just kind of, I don't know. That was such a serendipitous moment. It was so natural. Like, I kind of needed a bit of quiet. Like, I could have went downstairs and been with everybody, but I just felt like myself. I just needed a bit of quiet, and I knew that I would like to have expanded on like what you asked, because I think it was too hard to do it in the full group.
I think so as well.
You know, so
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and Temoc being there too was perfect. I think he needed it. Like, it was all perfect.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Thor came up and he was there, like, it's just yeah.
And those moments just seem to find themselves here in UBM. You know, I know it's happening for other people as well, even though I might not necessarily be involved in it. You know, people have got their own personal stuff going on, and sometimes it's nice to keep some of that in one-to-ones with your coach or with the person that you trust the most or whatever. But I know it's happening for other people, and I'm super happy for them. I don't need to know about all of it, you know.
Yeah.
But when it does come up, it's really nice, you know.
Yeah. It's not just about the hair, that's for sure. It's actually not about it at all. But we can make that fucking happen too, easily. We got good shit with the hair stuff too.
Yeah.
You want to learn hair technique? We know hair technique, you know. Anyway, thanks, Greg.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Legend, bro.
Appreciate it. Bye.
So, very final thoughts, Greg, on the secret spot. Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, it's some place. It's beautiful down here.
It's not that secret. It's called Thalassa, if you're ever in Canggu, Pereiranan, Sese area. This is the place to come. But yeah, thanks, Greg.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing me here.
Let's toast to another
success.
Let's go
happy year.
50%. Let's go 50% growth next year.
Yeah.
All right, 50%. You did 40, you did 30, now it's
Yeah.
time to go 50.
Yeah. I think for me as well, like once I dump on some education this year and stuff like that, I'm going to set myself kind of some targets there that I'd like to hit around that, and dive down that revenue stream a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
That would be a really, if I got that much done this year and felt like I made inways with that, I think I'll be quite happy.
Oh man, well,
Yeah.
you're in the right hands. We can help you with that very easily.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's do it.